Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to present this certificate of resolution to Leah Foster for her outstanding achievement in attaining the Girl Scout Silver Award. Leah is the recipient of the Girl Scout Silver Award, the highest scouting award a Girl Scout cadet can achieve. For her Silver Award project, Leah planned and performed site cleanup of the John Myers Tenant House ruins located near the Coleman Meadow Trail at Phipps Farm. Her work included the clearing of invasive plants, debris, and logs. Additionally, she created a gravel path to the ruins site from the main trail and installed signage with information about the ruins. Leah of Girl Scout Troop 571 has proven herself to be an exceptional member of the Girl Scouts of Eastern Pennsylvania. Therefore, be it resolved that Concord Township Council congratulates Leah on being the recipient of the Girl Scout Silver Award and encourages her to continue her commitment to excellence. I present that in the form of a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We had an Eagle Scout presentation last month, and I was commenting on how I had the pleasure of honoring other Girl Scouts with the Gold Award, which is a comparable award. Years later, we already have them. Good work. I hope to see more of her in here. My daughter was a Gold Award recipient and doesn't get the notoriety of Eagle Scout, but it's a great project, it's a great award, and something to carry with you the rest of your life, so congratulations. Next item is proclamation recognizing Delco Art Week. Dana, I think you have that?
So this proclamation is here for Delco Arts Week, which is October 1st to the 9th of 2022. Whereas Delaware County is rich with culture, and we are blessed with the talented artists and performers who contribute to the artistic and cultural fabric of our community. Whereas Delaware County Arts, formed in 2009, includes representatives from over 50 Delaware County arts organizations and strives to advance the economic vitality of the arts community and promote the value of Delaware County's cultural resources to the local community. The arts and the cultural organizations in the Delaware County contribute over $60 million and provide over 900 full-time jobs in local Delaware County economy. Members of the Delco County Arts Consortium will hold their 4th annual Delco Arts Week, which is October 1st through the 9th, to showcase the arts in Delaware County and engage and introduce community members and visitors to the many artistic venues and experiences that Delaware County has to offer. Delaware County's week will feature more than 75 different performances, exhibits, workshops, concerts, tours, and other events taking place in 50 venues throughout Delaware County, including Concord's own annual Fall into the Arts Festival, which is this Saturday, October 8th, in partnership with Darlington Arts. Now, therefore, the Council of Concord Township does hereby proclaim October 1st through the 9th, 2022, to be Delco Arts Week, and encourages Concord Township residents to enjoy and explore events planned to showcase the artistic talents in Delaware County. That's a formative motion, please.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying
Aye.
Rita, I think you have a proclamation
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. This proclamation is to recognize National Fire Prevention Week from October 19th to 15th for the month of October 2022. Whereas in the United States, the first presidential proclamation for Fire Prevention Week was made in 1925 by President Calvin Coolidge. And whereas each year during the month of October, and the Concordville Fire and Protective Association takes this opportunity to remind our residents of the devastating impact fire has on each of us. And whereas home fires killed more than 2,580 people in the United States in 2020, according to the National Fire Protection Association, the fire departments in the United States responded to 356,500 home fires. And whereas smoke alarms sense smoke well before you can, alerting you to danger in event of fire in which you may have a little as 2 minutes to escape safely. And whereas residents should be sure everyone, including those with sensory or physical abilities in the home, understands the sounds of alarm and knows how to respond. And whereas the 2022 Fire Prevention Week theme, Fire Won't Wait, Plan Your Escape, effectively serves to remind us it is important to have a home fire escape plan. Now, therefore, the Council of Concord Township does hereby proclaim October 2022 as Fire Prevention Month and urges all residents to participate in Fire Prevention Week to support the many public safety activities and efforts of the Concordville Fire and Protective Association. I present this proclamation for motion.
I have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have someone from fire. Upcoming meetings and events, October 6th, Park and Rec. October 8th is the Lawn to the Arts. A report. October 11th is a conditional use hearing for Rosalie's Outdoor Dining and a liquor license transfer hearing. The liquor license is being transferred from another municipality into Concord. This is the former Ruby's Restaurant site. We're at the tops of Britton Lake, and the owner-operators, the same people that have the White Dog Cafe in the same center. October 12th is the Historical Commission meeting. October 13th is the Senior Citizen Expo at 9 a.m. over here at the Fieldhouse. October 17th is the Planning Commission meeting. October 19th is the Zoning Hearing Board meeting. October 22nd is the Harvest Festival at noon. October 25th is the Council Agenda meeting if required. And October 29th is History and Haunts Tour, 5:30 p.m. ticketed event. For any of these things, you can visit our website to get more information and to find out about the History and Haunt event especially. Under reports, Finance Quarterly Report. Dana, I think you have a quarterly report for us, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. So our audit update, the township has received a draft of the 2021 audited financial statements, which has been posted on the township's website for review. A final version of the audit will be received this week once it completes the auditor's required technical review process. Should be noted that the township once again received a clean, unmodified audit opinion. A presentation of the 2021 financial statements is being prepared for the November council meeting. A draft of the 2023 fiscal year budget has been prepared by management and will be released by November 1st for public view. Currently, the township's general fund is on track to meet budget of 22 expectations. Management has been viewing past trends and current economic conditions to estimate operating revenues and expenditures for the remainder of the 2022 fiscal year, and we are confident that we will meet our budget goals by year end. For our operating fund, current year-to-date real estate collections is a total of $1,527,405. This equates to a collection rate of 97% compared to total budgeted revenues. Total collections are slightly lower than this time last year, as there have been many numerous refunds issued after county finalized real estate reassessment appeals within recent months. Township received the 2022 volunteer relief funds this month in a total of $168,712.62. Payment is included in this month's payables to remit funds directly to the Concordville Volunteer Fire Relief Association. The township has also received the state MMO allocation for 2022, which is $129,511.29, which will be remitted to the township's pension plan later this month. For our capital funds, our capital projects are progressing, including the renovations to the first floor of the community center are ongoing, and to date, approximately 80% of renovation is completed. The township's roof pointing and facade repairs began in early September, and work will continue for the next several months as the contractor continues to patch and repair the necessary areas of the township's exterior. The 2022 road program began in August, and the township's engineers and public works department have been working with contractors to complete the paving and curb work to get all road work completed and reopened in a timely manner. To date, the road program is 95% completed, with only final stripping and approval of speed bumps as work to be completed. Notice was received from PennDOT last week that the estimated state liquid fuels allotment for 2023 will be $498,350, which is higher than the 22 allotment as a result of higher than normal gas prices during this year. Armour & Sons Electric has finished the upgrades to 5 signal locations at the Concord Road corridor as part of the township's Green Light Go grant. The total project came in under budget, and first and final payment of $149,000 is being made this month. The township will be submitting final reports and closeout documents shortly to get reimbursement from PennDOT for their share, which is approximately 78% of the project costs per the Green Light Go grant. The Finance Department is working with our engineers to submit all grant reimbursements for ongoing projects as soon as projects are completed. We anticipate receiving grant reimbursements from DCNR for $246,700 for the Chetty Conservation Easement acquisition, and from PennDOT for $117,367 for the 2021 Green Light Go program. The Sewer Department will be operating Side A and Side B of the main plant simultaneously. The determination to begin the dual side operations was a result of increases in daily flow and considerations of future connections. As this decision was made after the finalization of the 2022 budget, operating costs, utilities, sludge removal may exceed budgeted expectations. Sewer administration staff and the Finance Department will monitor and operate expenses closely on both sides as they are fully operation, and we're working on finalizing the 2023 fiscal year budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Based on the reports this month, we want to thank all the residents of this township for working very hard to bring down the number of false alarms and calls, which we saw substantial reduction on, and help the EMT as well as the fire department, who are then able to focus on the locations and events that they really need to be at. Today, I'm very pleased to introduce our president of Concordville Fire and Protective Association, Lee Veer Singh. You can take it from here for your report.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for the invitation to be here tonight, and I hope I don't bore you with too many facts and figures. But I want to start out with a lot of facts and figures. For the year 2021, EMS calls to date for the whole fire company were reading the wrong thing, 3,796 calls. Of that, 2,492 were in Concord Township. This year so far, year to date for everybody that we cover is 3,223. 2,102 are in Concord Township. We're on a record pace. We will probably exceed 4,000 calls this year for EMS. Many reasons for that. The basic one is a lot of people put off health maintenance and things like that during COVID, and now we're paying for that. Also, a lot of people have left the medical profession, anywhere from receptionists through EMTs, paramedics, doctors, and other health professionals. So it's harder to get things taken care of. So the bottom line is that's why it's so busy. There's a rumor around if you call an ambulance, you'll get into the hospital quicker and you'll get seen quicker. It's not true. Hospitals triage. It doesn't matter if you walk in or if we give you a ride, but they will take care of you. And hospital wait times, because of understaffing in hospitals, is incredibly long. Last weekend or 2 weekends ago, Paoli Hospital had 5 beds available, where before they had none since COVID started. So, but that doesn't preclude, don't hesitate to call, don't hesitate to get taken care of, don't be afraid to call for an ambulance or EMS. Fire calls, year to date, in Concord Township, it's 360, which is out of 653 so far. And I did give a report to the committee people, but we've had 4 building fires in Concord Township. We've had 8 calls which you could consider brush fires, vegetation, this, that, and the other thing. We've also had 59 emergency medical assists, and that includes lift assists, different things like that. Assist on cardiac arrest, we always send an engine for cardiac arrest. Natural gas leaks, we've had 9 in Concord Township. It was mentioned about automatic alarms and things like that. We've had 21 alarms for alarm systems due to malfunction. And all other alarm system things, we've had 118 calls this year. Now, that doesn't mean that anything's wrong. That means these systems are working the way they're supposed to. 30 years ago, when there weren't alarm systems, those calls might have turned out to be something. So you look at that, it's not that they're unfounded, it's not that they're unnecessary, it's that those systems are doing their jobs for us. You might wonder, where are all the volunteers? Everybody's been reading the papers and everything about volunteers and stuff. A lot of things are going on with volunteering, and it's going to become a thing of the past eventually. Right now, we're lucky because we do have volunteers. But just looking at the gear that we wear to a building fire, it's cost $13,500. And if I put my gear on, an air pack on, and I carry a set of tools into a building, it's 82 pounds that I put on my body, which is more than half of what I weigh. So training to be what we consider a fully trained firefighter is 600 hours a year. So those are some of the reasons why we're having a problem with volunteers. Also, the cancer presumption, all the things we're getting into these days. COVID put a big hit on everything, just like everybody else. You know, we were always the first ones in with COVID and things like that, and then we never knew. People didn't wear a sign that said I had COVID or I think I have it. Stress, very stressful anymore. When you're out on the roadway at an auto accident, you're going to get run over. I mean, people don't slow down, they don't move over, they don't stop. We've been fortunate, we've only had one incident of that where one of our firefighters were hit, but you've seen the things in the paper about the people who have been killed on the roads. Hazmats, you know, there's all sorts of chemicals out there that we're getting involved in that are bad. So it's not a casual hobby anymore. It used to be when you were a firefighter, you go there, you can have some fun, and you can do this and that and the other thing. You still can, but it's very serious business. We are fortunate that we do have the funds to employ firefighters and EMTs. And right now, we have 10 full-time employees. Rick Bassick, our business manager, and then there's our career captain, and then we have 8 full-time firefighters after that. We have, depending on how you look at it, I think we hired one the other day, part-time. We probably have 43 part-time firefighters and EMTs. But they bring a big skill set to us because in the full-time gamut, 5 of these firefighters are past or current chief officers from another company. 3 are PA state certified instructors. 1 is a paramedic. In the part-time end of things, 8 are past or current chief officers or other officers in another company. 1 is a PA state instructor. 5 are in law enforcement. 3 are paramedics. 6 are firefighters involved in large career departments elsewhere. DC, Chester, Baltimore, Maryland, departments in Philadelphia. So they bring a great big asset to us for this. And everybody that's a career firefighter EMT with us are involved in other departments or elsewhere in various aspects. Financially, it's really interesting. Our gross income for last year was $2,239,881, and of that, our expenditures were $2,264,642, leaving us a deficit of $24,000. This year, we're on a track that at this point, our deficit is $261,799. Now, we will be making up for that because the fire fund drive just went out, and we are incredibly fortunate because our fund drive has a fantastic return from the public and the citizens. So that'll knock that down. But it will be a significant figure because of the people we've had to hire, take care of the fire and the ambulance calls. But we're fortunate we have the money where we can absorb that at this point, and we will be talking to our townships that we serve in the future about, increasing their donations and stuff on a graduated scale, but that'll be a negotiated thing. It's not going to drop it on them right away or not tonight, that's for sure, because I'll get escorted out of the building. Just for an instance, last month, or month of August, our bills were $210,000. And of that, $92,000 was administrative, which is salaries and things taken to run the fire department. $5,438 was for fuel. $67,253 went to Riddle Hospital. Now, Riddle Hospital staffs our advanced life support rig. We do the billing for Riddle Hospital, and then we give them a portion of that money. So that $67,000 is covered by income, but it's still a bill. The other, just another item, like just for gear and things, $26,000. Chester Water Authority, $318,000. We did upgrade phones, that was $1,400. So there's a whole lot of stuff that goes in there to keep this place running, and people look at it and say, what's your budget? That's our budget, and for the year is over $2 million, more than that. So all this, it's a big business. We're proud to do the job. We're proud to serve. We think we do it exceptionally well. If you ask anybody in Delaware County, they'll tell you that. And so that, I think that's kind of a snapshot. We're always open for visits and things like that if people want to come see what's going on. And we're always willing to discuss our business with people. So, and that's all I have for tonight. Once again, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the report, on behalf of the township residents, I do want to thank the Fire Department Association for all the hard work and the dedication that they show in taking care of our residents. Thank you.
John, you had something?
Yeah, Lee, first of all, thank you for all you do. Very, very necessary service that you provide to our township. I just had a quick question. My daily travels, I do see a lot more ambulances than I do fire engines. Just curious, how many ambulances do we have, and are we going to need another one to supplement in the near future? And what's your expectations on that?
Right now, we have 3 ambulances. And we're pricing up buying a new ambulance. The things that we're finding out is 2.5 years ago, I paid $226,000. When I say I mean the fire company. Paid $226,000 for an ambulance. 2.5 years later, that ambulance is $323,000, and we can't get delivery for 2 years. We cannot get a chassis from Ford, Dodge, or anybody like that. We are in the process. Next week, we will sign a contract for an ambulance. We've gone to 2 vendors, and we will sign a contract, and we will end up running 4 ambulances. Got a line on a used ambulance that we would possibly put behind the firehouse to keep the front runners going, but that's where we're at. Our MICU unit puts on 117 miles a day, calls. The other part of that is that with this system being overtaxed the way it is, when you call for an ambulance, you may not see Concordville. You might see Aston, you might see Boothwyn, you might see Crozier, you might see Longwood, because we're all busy covering each other. And it's just a thing that's going to increase. Crozier's not running like they used to. Believe it or not, the shutdown of the hospitals in Jennersville and Brandywine has affected us. Also, the wait times at the hospital. Our ambulances sometimes wait an hour and a half at a hospital for a patient to get off that stretcher into someplace in the hospital, which means they're not here for us. So, but we will be moving up to a 4th ambulance. We're also exploring the possibility of hiring our own paramedic to help cover the aging population that has a severe health problem, not the minor, so-called minor things. So EMS, we're an EMS-based fire company at this point. Fires are pretty much a thing of the past, thanks to the codes and the building standards and things like that. So the EMS is not going away.
I'm just a little annoyed that when you said elderly people, everybody down there looked over here at us. But anyway,
Well,
that's how it goes, I guess. Gee, thanks, guys. Thank you, Lee, for all you do. And as you know, we're getting ready to get into budget season, so I'm sure you and Amanda will have that conversation regarding the funding to the fire company. For those in Concord that probably know, or maybe some that don't realize, if you look at your township bill, there are different parts of the bill that make up the total millage, and there is a dedicated tax that goes just for the fire department from our tax bill. That basically comes in here, the tax collector collects it, it goes into an account we have, and Amanda, what, twice a year, 3 times a year maybe, we send that over to them?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's a dollar for dollar. Whatever we collect, we don't take any administrative costs, we send it right off to these guys. How much is that? It's got to be,
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, over $200,000. Yeah, about
almost
that.
$250,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day, it was the boards years and years ago decided to make it a dedicated millage, which, just like we do with the fire hydrants, that's a dedicated millage. So if that cost goes up to the township, we just charge the residents or the taxpayers, businesses, everybody else pays that same increase. Okay? Next is Open Space, Trails, and Recreation. Mr. Crossan is not here. However, the Park and Rec board meetings are made part of the record. Next is Sewer and Public Works, Mr. Gillespie.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, Month of September, operations staff performed 7 lateral inspections for resale certification. And the department responded to 156 individual Pennsylvania one-call notification for sewer lines to be marked in planned work zones. These mark-out requests are required to assure that all utility lines are not damaged by nearby construction, and as the sewer system continues to grow, so will the number of daily Pennsylvania one calls that are received. The township water agreements have been reviewed and settled, so the Concord Road North sewer project should be bid in the next couple of weeks. Once awarded, we will plan a meeting with residents in the service area. So additionally, the daily, weekly procedures has been 12 different activities, and also additional projects and duties, 17 of those. Too many to enumerate. Let me get over to the other side, the Public Works report. As far as road repairs, the crews completed major road shoulder repairs on Featherbed. And additionally, the crew repaired all 8 storm inlets on Forwood Drive that were in failure. The skilled labor division of the department performed exterior carpentry and paint restoration at the historic Pierce Willets house. This included replacing rotted windowsills and siding. In addition, the crew extended water service to the outside of the building and painted and patched interior walls. Regarding landscaping, the crews performed the routine maintenance of township properties with grass cutting, weed whacking, and minor tree trimming. Also, some major tree work on Temple Road, on the Coleman Trail, and removing a large fallen tree. Additionally, they met with contractors to assess some dead trees behind the township building near the walking trail, and also arranged for a fence contractor to repair the fence along the township campus walking trail that was recently taken out by a downed tree. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, John. Next is Building and Codes. Colleen?
Thank you. This month, we had a very similar amount of permits issued as in 2021. In 2021, there were a total of 64 permits. In 2022, we had 63, consisting of 17 building permits, 13 plumbing permits, 9 mechanical permits, 19 electrical permits, 2 fire code permits, 3 zoning standalone permits, 0 massage parlor permits, and 0 solicitation permits. We had 16 residential certificates of occupancy issued and 13 resale certifications, residential, 0 commercial resale, 8 sign permits, and no special events permits or seasonal sale permits. We also have several new businesses that are opening in the township or at this point have opened. Lens Crafters in Glen Eagle, Solo Salon in Britton Lake. The Halloween shop is open again in Britton Lake. And Black Sheep Wrestling on LaCrue Avenue is opening, I believe, this week. So we welcome those new businesses to the township.
Thank you. Planning Commission, Larry?
Thank you. Concord Township Planning Commission activities for September 2022. The Planning Commission agenda meeting was held on September 12th, and the public meeting was held on September 19th. New projects, Tommy's Car Wash was accepted for review, and the project manager, Mark Elser, and co-project manager, Ben Little, were assigned. Current projects, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the Route 202 project, LLC, Carmen Auto Group, located on Wilmington, Westchester Pike, and Concord Road, consolidation during their September 19th, 2022 public meeting that we will talk about in a little bit. The Planning Commission issued comments to council on the following items: the CU application for Rosalie Glen Mills, which is the hearing on October 11th, and small cell wireless facilities, our proposed ordinance. Scheduled for the month. The agenda meeting will be held on October 10th, and the public meeting will be held on the 17th. And then I believe Mr. President, you have something to add?
Thank you. Yes, I'd like to add, it's with sorrow that I announced that we lost a member of the Concord Township family recently. Marcy Laver, who served on the Planning Commission from April 1st of '93 to July 7th of '98. She was chairperson of the Planning Commission for a number of those years. She also served on the Land Planning Committee in Concord Township from May of '95 through July of '98. She was also the chairperson of the Agricultural Security Area Advisory Council, and she was Concord Township's Person of the Year in 1998. I knew Marcy when I first got on Planning Commission back, I think, in 1994, and spent many years there with her. She was a great worker, a great advocate for Concord Township. She did a fantastic amount of work on the agricultural security area and some of the comprehensive plan work that was done in the township. I think a couple of my colleagues also had the pleasure of serving with her.
Yes, actually, I replaced Marcy on the Planning Commission in July of 1998. So I never really got to work with her, but I heard a lot about what she had done, and sorry to hear about her passing.
Yes. And our condolences to her family. Next, Solicitor, you, any report?
Number 3 on your agenda this evening deals with Unit 5 at 2020 Wilmington Westchester Pike. And as a result of operations that have recently taken place at this location, and criminal charges lodged by the Pennsylvania State Police, and also it was noted that personnel not listed in the business register as required by the Township Code, a cease and desist has been ordered for that location and temporarily the certificate of occupancy has been suspended pending the outcome of the criminal proceedings and/or an order of the Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board. The property was so posted on September 21st, and by motion I'm asking the Township Council to reaffirm and recognize the same.
I
Thank
think
you.
we are going to be doing that later in the agenda.
Correct.
But it is in the batting order.
That is all.
Thank you. Township Engineer Nate.
Good evening. Just a few brief updates. First, I think as council knows, the county is implementing an updated stormwater ordinance. So I'm working with Amanda to update ours. Should be fairly minor updates, considering we did adopt their latest update, I believe, back in 2016. So it should be fairly minor, but that will be on the agenda hopefully sometime this fall. Second, Schoolhouse in 1. I'd like to update the council on that. First, we got an updated cost from our signal maintenance contractor to install the turning restriction. I think as you had said earlier, there were some issues with cost and delays on materials for this as well, just like everything we're seeing right now. So right now, we're looking about 4 to 6 weeks out to get that restriction installed, and that cost went up about $1,500. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Second, our survey guys have been authorized to get on site. Right now, I'm hopeful. This rain's pushed them back about a week, but I'm hopeful they'll be out on site. You'll see my guys out there in about a week and a half. The Namens Creek 202, the turning lane project there at that intersection, PennDOT advises that's most likely a spring start, so we'll keep you posted on that. And we did meet Mr. Gillespie. Amanda and I met with Representative Williams and PennDOT about 2 weeks ago. As you'll recall, we had requested that PennDOT analyze Concord Road regarding the excessive trucks we've been seeing on that and some of the resident complaints. Unfortunately, at this time, PennDOT's analysis is such that they will not be restricting trucks as per our request. However, they have agreed to multiple restrictions on turning movements that will hopefully reduce the amount of trucks that can legally make turns on the Concord Road, which should reduce things. So once that gets implemented, probably 4 to 6 weeks out, we will then update the state police on those restrictions. And then secondary, Representative Williams was going to reach out directly to a local business owner to have that dialogue about where the trucks are coming from and to see if we could have just a conversation about that. Last, as required annually with DEP, we did make our submission last Friday for our annual MS4 report update, so that's been crossed off our list as well. That's all I have unless there's any questions.
Any questions? Seeing none, move on to Township Manager. Amanda?
Sure, a lot of people covered some of the items I was going to talk about, but I will say Art Festival, please join us. It's our second annual. It's really great. If you want to shop local, it's really cool because it's all local craft vendors in the area who have signed up. We have over 30 vendors, everything from pumpkins made out of sweaters and materials to, mosaics and pottery and really cool local art. So I hope everyone has the chance to come this Saturday. It's from 12 to 3 p.m. We've all been cooped up with the rain, so come out and shop with your neighbors. We also have performances. The Garnet Valley Performing Arts group will be there, and we also have another guitarist who will be joining us. So, and we have food. It's going to be a good time. Please, at Smithbridge Park, you'll see the balloons and fanfare. Hopefully we have a good attendance. Additionally, I just want to say at our Community Day event, we had asked for folks to sign up who were ever interested in volunteering. We have a specific volunteer event on October the 22nd at 9 a.m. for a trail cleanup at our Coleman Trail. It includes, cleaning up trash, removing invasives, and making sure the trail path is clear from debris. If anyone is interested at all, please reach out to me. We are setting up sort of a new group listing of our volunteers. So when there's opportunities that arise, we can have folks join us. We also know there's lots of school students who have some things they have to fulfill. So we're happy to be their community space to do those hours. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Additionally, speaking of volunteers, I'm going to give support to our friends over at the Newland Grist Mill. They have a huge tree planting project that they are trying to accomplish. They need volunteers in October. If you go to their website or their Facebook page, they have information posted up. Jessica Shahan is leading the recruitment effort, and they have multiple dates from like 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. where they need some muscle. So if folks can help them, it is greatly appreciated. Or if you know any companies that are interested in doing some volunteer work as a group, they will take them on. So I'll just give that plug for Jessica, and I am done.
Thank you. Citizen comment, anybody with any comments, please come forward. We'll need your name and address, please, for the record. You're like the stage crew tonight, huh?
Ken Hemphill, 39 Millrace Place. I want to thank you guys again for what you did with the Chetty property. Fantastic work. And with the Wilcox family land, which hopefully that gets added to. The Hall property, I think you guys have done some amazing work in the last couple of years. I don't know if you've been down Beaver Valley Road lately, in the last 6 months. They have started building a house that was, appropriately approved last year. But it has changed the view shed from the Winery Trail, Beaver Valley. And it got me thinking that there are 5 acres next to that by the Derricksons. And given that it's 1 acre zoning, that land could be purchased and subdivided into 5 houses, and it would completely change, not spoil the view shed from the trails in Beaver Valley, especially the high trails looking over the horse meadows and horse pastures across the street. So I'm hoping that the township has that on your radar. Possibly you can do something about it.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Gene Goebel, 7 Quaker Lane. Interested in a little more background on the massage parlor license revocations. I guess this is the second month in a row. I think, Hugh, you made a comment about maybe some employees weren't licensed or registered. Is that the criminal act, or is there sexual activity of some type? Is it unpublic?
I'll read to you from the Pennsylvania State Police Public Information Release Report, incident number being PA 22-12-165995. Location is, as stated previously, 220 Wilmington Westchester Pike. And based upon anonymous tip, narcotics unit members acting in an undercover capacity entered the above location To cultivate pertinent information relating to suspected sex acts occurring. Based upon their investigation, females offered sexual acts in exchange for United States currency. A search warrant was applied for and granted for this location. The one above accused was taken into custody without incident. A search yielded confidential funds utilized on previous visits, and both were processed and released pending a preliminary hearing.
And similar activity in the last month with a different massage parlor? Or-
Correct.
And the one from last month, did they not turn around a couple weeks later to zoning hearing board to try to get a license reinstated, or?
They did.
How'd that go?
I haven't heard the result from the zoning hearing board yet.
I think that was continued, wasn't it you? I don't even know.
No, we had a hearing.
They had a hearing?
We presented evidence, and they have 30 days to render their decision.
Okay. And then Colleen, today I thought I heard you say for this month's report, the building department or whatever it is, that there were no new massage applications. I looked online before the meeting. I thought I saw a new one trying to come in, ironically with the name Twisted Shamrock. Am I mistaken?
No permits issued this month.
So we got another one coming, I guess. Or is it illegal? Do we check the background or arrest history of these places? I'm just curious.
Sorry, let him speak, please.
That's
Ma'am.
fine.
Go ahead, go ahead.
They do. Okay. I say yes, but go ahead. Okay, yeah, I just meant the new business that has came or is coming. Okay. Do we know how many massage parlors do we have in this township?
I don't have that number. I know we have, what's the one in Concorville Town Center, Hand and Stone? And there's a massage center. Yeah, there's about, did you say
About 7.
about 7?
Okay, I guess my last question came last month. I had asked about process for Concord Road North or any general process for granting sewer hookups to vacant parcels of land. You responded, said you would answer me if you could. Never heard back. Does that mean you can't answer, or it's a legal thing? Or?
Oh, no, not at all, Mr. Goebel. You had several items in your email, and I was waiting on some of them to get from the engineers because it had to do with the lighting. The sewer information you asked at the meeting had to do with laterals on vacant land, if there was sort of a protocol. I think I'm using the wrong word, but is there a process to it?
Everybody get treated the same,
Yep.
so to speak.
And I spoke with Terry about it and our engineer, and basically what happens if it's determined that it's unbuildable, like an unbuildable lot, they do not put a lateral on it. It's not included. Because it can't be sewered, you're not going to put a residential dwelling on that. So if it's a lot that is considered undevelopable, it's not included with a lateral.
Sewer department makes that determination.
The engineer does when he does the project overall.
So does he follow the guidelines of code?
Yes, he follows all of the code. Yep, he follows the township code and that code.
So 723 Concord Road, presuming it's undersized for area.
It can't, yes,
Not beginning. It can
yes.
offer. Okay,
So they don't, include that in the project
Okay.
as everyone pays for it.
thank you much.
Anyone else? Yes. Excuse me, wait, come up to the microphone so we can get this. Go ahead.
Again, Mama, 711 Concord Holdings, same question on 723 Concord. Is that a buildable lot or not a buildable lot? There was a house there previously.
I'm not sure. If you could email me, I can let you know, but I don't want to say off the cuff. He was talking about a little triangle sliver that he owns there that was determined not. So I need to look at that, so just send it to me.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Moving right along in the agenda. Under our business items, we have the first part is a consent agenda, where we will be acting on the following items. We will be approving the council public meeting minutes of September 6th, 2022. We will be reappointing to the Historical Commission Leslie Burkheiser, term to expire October 4th, 2025. We have some bills to pay. I think you have them, Dana?
Yes, so the total expenditures is $1,380,608.10, and that consists of August payroll of $187,567.78, current bills totaling $1,063,565.75, and sewer bills totaling $129,474.57.
We also have certificates of payment, number one and final to Armor and Sons for the Green Light Go grant project. I think you talked about that earlier, Dana, for $149,000. We have a payment number 1A and 1B to AF Damon for the road program for $451,447.41. Dana, I think that's why that current bill number is up so high. We have those two checks totaling, $600,000 there. We also are approving the minimum municipal obligation for the pension for 2023 of $135,024. There are no financial releases, and there are no plans to accept this complete for filing. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I have a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I think Nate handled item 2 in his engineer's report, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Item number 3, the solicitor already went into the details, and I think you are just asking us for a motion to approve or reinforce the posted order to cease and desist from any business activities. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Do we have a motion to do so?
I so moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next is a resolution number 39 of 2022. Does he have a plan for this? Lot consolidation, it's a reverse subdivision, and basically, I think the sewer department properties. Okay. Over the years, the original sewer plant and building were conveyed to the township from Philadelphia Electric back in the early 80s in anticipation of construction of a sanitary sewer plant to provide sanitary sewers to Concord Township. Over the years, the township has bought a number of properties that surround and abut to it, and there are approximately 27.25 acres there now. There's 5 parcels. They are all on different folio numbers, and the township is applying, sewer department is applying to the township. Basically, the township is asking the township to do a reverse subdivision to make it one big parcel. So that's what this resolution is all about. It is a final minor subdivision plan. Even the township has to go through this kind of stuff to get their land developed. And there are a number of conditions that it has to comply with. One is with all comments contained in the Delaware County Planning Commission review letter dated August 20th, 2022, attached Exhibit A. 1, compliance with all comments contained Concord Township Sewer Enforcement Officer memo dated August 3rd, 2022. Compliance with all comments contained in the Concord Township Fire Marshal email of July 15th. Compliance with all comments contained in the Concord Township Historical Commission's email dated August 9th. Signed, sealed surveyor certification of placements of monuments and pins must be filed with the township prior to the recording of the plans. Plans to be submitted in electronic format. The deed for the consolidated parcels, legal descriptions, and all easements are to be submitted for review and approval by the township engineer and the township solicitor prior to release of the final plans. 3 waivers, 160 35B13 requiring existing contours, 160 35B14 requiring designation of existing tree masses and notable trees, and 160 43D requiring every lot to have access to the street. I have a motion to approve Resolution 39 of 2022.
Motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Resolution 40 of 2022 is a preliminary final land development of Route 202 Project Carmen Auto Group. I see Mr. Stiebel here. You're representing the applicant. Nate, do you have that plan? You want to walk us through it, or?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. So this is a car dealership site. This is located immediately north of the existing Subaru site that splits Concord and Chadds Ford Township. This is 202 northbound, just south of Baltimore Pike. This project went through a zoning hearing board process for, I believe, a special exception for the use, if I recall correctly. And we've been working with the Planning Commission over the past, 6 to 9 months to sort out some of the issues. There was an abandoned pipeline on this site that caused a little bit of extended time to get sorted out with the pipeline company, but we have confirmed it is abandoned and will be removed as part of this project. That was probably the biggest issue we had on this. In addition to working with our neighbors at Chadds Ford, there's a tiny, tiny, tiny sliver of Chadds Ford property here. So Chadds Ford did review and comment on that. We've incorporated some of their recommendations. Right now, there is 2 proposed buildings on this site. I believe Lincoln dealership is proposed. I think that's fair to say. But, really kind of a mirror image of the Subaru site to the south. Very similar site size-wise. So I think similar expectations for what this site will look like. I think Joe Comanda, their engineers here as well. So between the two of us, if there's any specific questions, we'd be happy to answer them. But fairly straightforward. The Planning Commission has recommended it. Delaware County has recommended it. Our office has resolved a substantial number of issues, as well as Bradford Engineering as well, and the Fire Marshal. So we're down to kind of the minor, simple, kind of pre-record plan, third-party type stuff at this point in time.
Lee, does that pretty much sum it up? Okay. Take a shot at a motion here. It's a resolution 40 of 2022, which is a preliminary final land development for Carmen Auto Group. For those not exactly sure where this is, it's on 202 northbound lane between the Subaru dealership and the hotel. So if anybody's trying to play at home and orient themselves as to where it is, this is the vacant piece of ground that was there. I think it was previously approved when the Hionis family owned it for 4 or 5 pad sites, if I'm not mistaken. And another hotel, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. It's a preliminary final land development prepared by Inland Design. Nate recited all the areas in bulk. It's approved subject to the following conditions. Number 1, compliance with all comments contained in the Prononi review letter of August 8th. 2, compliance with all comments in the Delaware County Planning Commission letter dated March 18th. 3, compliance with all comments contained in the committal letter August 4th. 4, compliance with all comment in the Fire Marshal email of July 28th. 5, compliance with all comments contained in the Bradford Engineer Associates letter August 8th. 6, compliance with the Concord Township Zoning Hearing Board decision and order dated September 16th, 2021, and each condition set forth herein, and it's attached as Exhibit F. 7, compliance with all comments in the Chadds Ford Township Engineer letter dated September 8th, also attached as Exhibit. Number 8, applicants shall submit color, architectural elevation, and color board materials for review and approval by council prior to the release of the signed plan. Approval of the elevations and material for the building shall be obtained prior to the issuance of any building permits. All building improvements are to be constructed as per the approved architectural elevations, including screening of any rooftop mechanical equipment. We're already in the process of doing that. We've had a very good meeting with the applicant and are on our way to resolving whatever outstanding issues were there for that. Number 9, developer agrees to enter into a development improvement security agreement prior to release of the signed plans. Number 10, developer agrees to contribute $5,000 per intersection to monitor and adjust the adaptive signals for a total of $10,000 to Concord Township, 2 signals, and $5,000 to Chadds Ford Township for 1 signal. Number 11, developer agrees that any future building or expansions will require land development and/or zoning hearing board approval. Number 12, due to the recently submitted revised lighting plans, developer agrees to work with the township engineer to finalize the lighting plans prior to the final plan recording. Number 13, plans to be submitted in electronic format. 14, an executed operation and maintenance agreement, as well as a contribution to the municipal stormwater control and BMP operation and maintenance fund is required in the amount of $12,358. 15, payment of an open space park and rec fee in lieu of $8,636 as per Resolution 6 of 2022. Number 16, all signs, flags, and displays shall comply with township ordinances. Following waivers from 169H to permit a joint preliminary final subdivision, 16049B to permit the removal of over 20% of the existing tree mass on the site, as recommended by the township landscape consultant in his August 4th letter. Number 3, 16049G7 to permit the disturbance of over 30% of the steep and very steep slopes on the site. 4, 150C3B1 to permit reduced screen along 202 frontage of the site. 16050J3 to permit a reduced screen along the 202 frontage of the site. That is the resolution. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A question?
Question,
or
go ahead.
comment regarding condition number 10, where we're asking the developer to contribute funds for signal improvements. This is something that has happened before in many of the major land developments in our township, so it's nothing different than we normally would require. So I just wanted to add that into the record.
Okay. Do you have anything to add, or are you good? Okay. All right, well, let's stop right there, because you're going to get an approval.
Mr. Chairman, I have a couple of questions.
Go ahead, sure.
Real quick.
See, I shouldn't have asked you.
I know, but number 8, it talks about the architectural elevations, and I haven't seen any architectural elevations for the building, so I'm wondering if we have any drawings of what that's going to look like.
Colleen, we did have it. We had a meeting with Comita, and it's a very impressive-looking building. It's very well-designed. It's something I think we're all going to be proud of.
And Tom likes it.
Tom liked it.
Tom has done a great job for us in the past, so if Tom likes it, that's good. And are there actually 3 buildings on the site? I like to see this stuff.
3 buildings on the site?
Yeah, I can address that question. Joel Commanda with Inland Design.
Looks modern.
There are currently, what's currently being proposed is one building at the front, southern larger building that's close to 202, and then a larger building in the rear, which is going to be the service building. There's smaller building in the front to the north there, and the sort of top northern part of the large service building in the back are shown as potential future buildings, and that there was a condition that clearly stated any of those future buildings would need to come for approval. That's what that's referring to. This time is just the 2 buildings.
And
But
then,
I will mention, in terms of stormwater and parking, it was sort of designed for the full build-out to accommodate that full build-out.
right. My only other question is on the landscaping, and I see the 2 waivers from the screening on Route 202. And I know we've had previous car dealerships that have had issues with that. So is that to address some of
Yes.
those concerns?
Yeah, they've been working closely with Tom Comina's office on the landscaping that works along the frontage there. As you know, our ordinance has some odd, tricky parts to it that we've been trying, especially with the car dealerships, where, seeds and the trees hanging over the cars and visuals. So Tom's been working with them. They've had multiple calls with Tom's office, trying to find that middle ground. But technically, even that great landscaping plan they provided us does technically need a waiver. So that's why that waiver comes into play.
And then there's no access in the rear of the building, just in the front. So there's no connection, or is there a projected connection in the back of the building at some
Yeah,
future
so
time?
the only access is to the northern site, to the hotel site. So on the top right of the plan, you'll see a little driveway. There's an easement that exists on that site, so there's a secondary access for emergency vehicles. There is no access to Golden Gate Drive or the shopping center to the rear or to the Subaru site. To the rear, frankly, there's such an elevation change that that's very challenging. To the point where, literally, even if you wanted pedestrian access, we'd have to construct stairs. It's that severe of an elevation change.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
conditions acceptable to the applicant? Okay. I forgot to ask if the other conditions for the township were acceptable to the township.
Wrote them for ourselves.
Okay. Resolution number 42 of 2041. Nate, that's a county greenway grant application, Township Park. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so numbers 41 and number 42 are two county greenway grants. The county opened up a secondary, or I guess this is the third year of grants. It's a short window, short turnaround. So we've made two applications, or going to be making two applications that we need resolutions for. The first is going to be essentially the grant we got from DCNR for the township park improvements. We have a 50% match. So we're going to ask the county to say, hey, let's use some of the 50% match towards that. So it's no new money on the table. Second is the Wilcox Conservation Easement. Same thing. We've already committed that money to that conservation easement. We're now going to go to the county and say, hey, can you contribute towards that? So
Okay.
really no new money per se, just going to hopefully reduce our existing
Do I have
commitments.
a motion to approve Resolution 41 of 2022 regarding the county greenway grant application as expertly explained by Nate?
I so moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And Resolution 42 of 2022, the county greenway grant regarding the Wilcox Conservation Easement, not as expertly explained by Nate. Do I have a motion for that one? Number 43? Dana?
42.
I did 42, we're doing
Okay.
43.
43 is the Tax Act, 57.
42 I'm doing, I'm sorry.
Okay.
John,
I move
Yeah.
that we approve
John didn't
resolution
have- John
number
didn't have-
42 of 2022.
John had a
Yes.
computer problem. Second? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Amanda, Resolution 43 of 2022 is the Tax Act 57 of 2022.
Yep.
I understand this is something that the state legislator enacted.
Yep.
And it's to provide a request for waiver of additional charges. Apparently, across the state of Pennsylvania, when houses are sold, sometimes the real estate bill does not end up in the new owner's name as promptly as they would like due to the mail or a mess up at the courthouse. And they usually end up paying the penalties and fees of that nature. So the state legislature revised that act and put a procedure in place that if that were to happen to you, there's a form and an appeal you can do to have the taxes set at the rate they would have been when they were due. There would be no penalty, no interest, and no late fees or anything like that. So all we're doing is amending our tax code to match up with that. Is that correct?
Yeah, so we're putting this resolution in place to be in line with that tax code and acknowledge it by our tax collector that we will do this,
Okay.
basically.
So we have a motion to approve Resolution 43.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item number 9, authorization to advertise updated ordinance for fire code. We have a motion to approve the advertisement. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Do we have a motion
Aye.
to adjourn?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Thank you for coming out.
Jeez.